Okay, I'm going to kick off. So welcome to the University of Manchester's first ever virtual Open Week. We hope that you're keeping safe and well wherever you are tuning in from today, due to kind of what continues to be a really uncertain time for us here in the UK, but also across the globe. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for joining our session today. So it's Monday morning, it's quite a gloomy day here in Manchester, but Craig and I, Craig's another course advisor, are going to talk to you about the online and blended learning opportunities here at the University of Manchester. So like I said, we're going to be running today's session. So a few housekeeping rules. If you could remain muted and if you could remain with your videos off, that would be great. In terms of questions, please feel free to drop any questions that you have in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. Craig and I will answer your questions at the end of today's webinar. So without further ado, I'm going to kick off and just introduce who I am. So I am Daisy James. I'm one of the course advisors here at the University of Manchester. So I've got over 4 years of work experience within the student recruitment and higher education space. So previously I've worked down in London. So I've worked within the finance sector where I was responsible for campus recruitment and conversion. And my final career before I moved up north to Manchester was working for an amazing art auction house where I looked after 2 fantastic art history and art law business degrees. So here at the University of Manchester, I look after a variety of different online and blended learning courses in the form of CPD courses, postgraduate certificates, postgraduate diplomas, and master's degree programs. I am responsible for delivering webinars such as this one, but more course-specific webinars as well. So to help you as prospective students make that real informed decision as to whether or not the right course is the right fit for you, and to kind of make that informed decision about your next academic career move. I'm also responsible for conducting individual consultations with prospective students like yourself, which is something I actually really enjoy doing and as part of my job. I love getting to know my students, helping them to support them during kind of their decision-making process. So I'm now going to hand you over to Craig, my colleague, who's going to introduce him.
Thanks very much, Daisy, and hello everybody. Nice to meet you all. I'm glad you could join us today. A little bit about me. So previously to coming to the University of Manchester, I'm from Liverpool, so I'm not from the Manchester area. So I worked in a further education college which was the city of Liverpool, where I predominantly managed the recruitments for a wide range of apprenticeships. Which was great. It was recruitment based, a number of different courses, got to work with so many different students of different ages and different abilities as well. Prior to that, I worked for a university, again in the Merseyside region, where I supported students who were considered at risk of dropping out of university, and students who were probably underrepresented in the university sector as well. So it was a really interesting role. And then about a year ago, I joined the University of Manchester as a course advisor, just like Daisy. So our responsibilities, as you can see, are fairly similar. That picture there was taken about a year ago when it was nice and sunny. Today here in Liverpool, it's absolutely teeming down. Doesn't look like that, and I haven't got a nice blue shirt on like that either as well. So totally different 12 months on. So yeah, that's probably about a little bit about my background. I would say, for me, the most thing that I enjoy is probably, it's when I get to speak to you guys, whether that's over a webinar like Daisy, or whether that's via Skype calls, or Zoom chats, conversations over email. I like to feel, and I get the most satisfaction if I help you decide that the courses that are under my care, if I'm guiding you to realise that it's the right course for you. And then it helps you submit an application form because you feel it's right for your professional development. So that really is the part of the job that I enjoy the most. And obviously doing webinars as well as a main one for us. We get to sit here and talk away, especially on sessions like this as well, which is great for us as well. Thanks, Daisy.
Great, thank you so much, Craig. So now I want to talk to you about online learning, so what it means and what it means for the University of Manchester. So as you can see from this slide, online learning allows you to get that university level education without having to physically attend campus. So what that means is that our courses are accessible to you as an individual. So the courses are built around flexibility, so it allows you to plan your own learning at a time and a place that really suits you. So a lot of the students I see come through my pipeline and who I talk to on a daily basis do have other commitments, so they really kind of want that flexibility in their learning, and that's what online learning is all about. As you can see from here, you can access and work through the learning materials, the reading materials, the video lectures, and other online activities, such as group discussions, at your own convenience. So you can manage your kind of learning whilst managing your current career, your current job, or other family commitments, whatever that may be. It's flexible and it's built around you. Before I hand you back over to Craig, I just wanted to read this quote out to you. So when I saw this quote, I just had to put it in this slide deck because I really think it brings together what online learning means. So for those of you who don't know Elliott Massey, he is quite a well-known figure in the e-learning space. And he said that we need to bring learning to people instead of people to learning. And I really think that this kind of explains what online learning really is. So like I said before, a lot of the students who I speak to, they do have other commitments, but they all strive and have that desire to continue learning in order to really improve themselves as individuals. And the only way that they can do this is through online learning. And therefore our courses here at the university have really kind of brought learning to them through the kind of fantastic nature, the content, the discussion boards, and everything that our courses include. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you about this quote, as I think it's really important, because this is absolutely what our online courses do.
Absolutely, Daisy. I think it won't be long before we're using your quotes as well about online learning, Daisy. Okay, so yeah, on to me again. What is blended learning? So you can see that it's obviously, it takes the online elements and the on-campus elements, and I think not all of our courses look like this, but there are a few that Daisy and I manage that has got that on-campus feel. And I guess when I'm speaking to potential candidates like some of you guys, and they ask what is the on-campus part, well, what's the benefits of it? And I would say, well, it's the best of both worlds, really. It's that chance to interact with academics. So you get to experience and feel like you are in that classroom, which for some people, they really enjoy that and they thrive off it and it helps with their learning. I would say you get to interact with your peers as well. You know, you get to meet fellow professionals from the same sector, wide range of experience, different parts of the world, which really, I guess, helps people really gain some valuable insight into their learning and what's driven people to study the same course as them. And I think it really pulls people together and helps and shares ideas that people have on certain parts of the course as well. I would say for Daisy and I as well, it's a chance where we get to meet you guys as well. A lot of the time we speak to you guys, and probably the closest we get to face-to-face is a Zoom chat. So we get to come along to the on-campus elements and we get to meet you guys, hopefully in the evening time when we have some drinks and some food. But we will come along to some of the sessions as well, where we'll capture some information from you guys and find out what it's really been like, so that we can share that information with applicants in the future as well. So it's a real chance to bring it all together, and we really do value that as well.
Absolutely. I think the blended learning element and the blended learning courses that Craig and I look after, they really kind of give you that opportunity to really build your professional network. So like Craig said, you'll be meeting a wide range of people, and further on in our presentation today, we are going to talk about kind of the different companies that our students are coming from. So I think it's so important to build your professional network, not just for your professional development, but also for your personal development. It's always nice to kind of meet people who are based kind of halfway across the world or working for a completely different company than you are. So absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say, and some of the existing students now, Daisy, for one of my courses, I guess some of the feedback we've had, they've really enjoyed it. I think a few have stayed in touch as well, which just strengthens the part that I was saying about people being able to use experiences and examples and share to help develop their knowledge of the course as well. So I love the idea of that people stay in touch. You don't want to feel isolated when you're doing the course, and that's absolutely what these courses are not about, it's about bringing you together, whether it is completely online or whether it is blended. And we will talk about how the online brings people together as well. But obviously the blended does, for those people that do come along to the conferences or workshop, it's such a great environment for people to grow with their studies as well.
Definitely. Thank you, Craig. So now you've heard a little bit about what is online learning and what is blended learning. So you're probably thinking, is online and blended learning for you? So like I said at the beginning, if you do have questions, please do feel free to drop them in the chat box. But Craig and I are going to talk to you about kind of the type of student that we talk to and see come through our pipeline on a daily basis. So as you can see in this kind of statement is absolutely true. There's no such thing as a typical online learning student. So this form of study, whether it's purely online or a mixture of kind of online and face-to-face, suits people with very varied circumstances. So I'm going to kick off and talk about the first 3 points here and give you a couple of examples. So these type of students include professionals wishing to improve their career prospects. So one of the courses I look after is an online and blended MSc in financial management, which sits within the fantastic Alliance Manchester Business School here at the university. So I've spoken with individuals with varied circumstances, but a lot of the students that I speak to are kind of looking to take their career to the next level. So for them, this course will really kind of help them do that, as will our other courses as well. They give you kind of the confidence to really kind of apply for that next mid to senior level role, whether that's in your current career or kind of in a different sector. And that moves me nicely onto the kind of next point, which is individuals looking to kind of change career. So again, I speak to varied students who have got varying different circumstances, but online and blended learning is kind of for people who are maybe looking to change sector, change industry, and our courses will absolutely help them to do that. And finally, before I hand you back over to Craig, I speak to students who are kind of wanting to undertake courses for a personal interest. So they have that genuine kind of desire to continue learning. And one example I want to give is another course I look after is a purely online postgraduate certificate in skin aging and aesthetic medicine. So just to kind of make a point that there are kind of specific entry criteria that you will need to meet. But for this particular course, I spoke to kind of individuals who have a genuine interest in understanding the theory behind skin aging and aesthetics, and therefore they fall under this category. So the courses that Craig and I both look after really kind of give you, as a student, the skills, the expertise, the knowledge to help you be confident in kind of either making a change in your career, improving your career prospects, or just kind of keeping your mind busy and excited about a particular subject area.
So I was looking at these earlier on today, Daisy, and this actually is me. You know, all of these points now. So family commitments, yeah, that's me. I have a young daughter, young family, so this would be me. Travel frequently, well, as I said before, yeah, I'm a little further away than Manchester, so I do travel in, and unfortunately, yeah, I am a mature student these days. So yeah, for me, when looking at this, and it's great that I can actually see myself being able to do one of the online and blended learning courses, because when people come and speak to me about whether they are suitable for the course, you can use some personal examples. But I'd like to share with you one example of somebody that I've been working with for the real estate course. This gentleman is of retirement age. He has got some experience of working in the real estate industry and has just started to invest some of his savings into real estate property, actually here, or where Daisy is in Manchester. So this course for somebody who, as I said, is of retirement age, is absolutely the next step in their journey. They are looking to grow their portfolio of real estate property. They're going to use their experience, albeit it's only kind of on the back of their other career. So Daisy mentioned earlier about looking to change careers. Do our courses help with that? Well, absolutely. And obviously the next step of this potential applicant's journey is onto the real estate. And so what they were looking at is, I guess, which Daisy and I will talk about in just a few minutes or so, is the level of commitment they'll need to apply to the course. Is it flexible? So they will be able to access the material online and from a range of different devices as well. And can it fit around their lifestyle? Well, yeah, yes, it can. You know, the idea of having access to an online portal, which again, Daisy and I will talk about in a couple of slides in. Absolutely, you can manage your workload by using your portal and do it at times that isn't traditionally like a classroom. So it might not be 9 to 3, it's at the times that suit you, and it's manage it in the chunks, the sizes that suit your study style as well. So another course that I manage recruitment for is medical health and education, and I'm thinking a lot of you guys that are joining today may well have spoken to me. We've had a lot of interest in this course, and this is for people who are in the health profession that have elements of teaching to their roles and responsibilities, or anticipate that kind of responsibility in years to come. And so there's been a number of people from across the world in the health professions that are looking at studying this course, and so I've had a wide range of people coming to speak to me, and all looking or showing interest for this course as well. So it goes to show that you can come from a wide range from different parts of the world for all our courses as well, and you might not necessarily be in the role that the course is designed for. You could be anticipating it for a change in your responsibilities as well. I think that it's important for Daisy and I to get that across. Is there anything I've missed there, Daisy, that you would add, or do you think?
No, definitely. I think that's kind of great, really, Craig. And I think in terms of you guys on today's call, we know as course advisors that you're all individuals. You've all got very different circumstances, and in circumstances that are individual to you. So that's where our kind of role comes in to play. We are there to kind of offer that guidance and support at the very early stages of your decision making. We know kind of committing to a master's or kind of further study is a big decision, because it's a big commitment. It costs as well. So we know that we want to help you, basically. We want to help you make that real informed decision, so that you've made the right decision for you and your circumstances currently. But yeah, absolutely. I hope this slide gives you a bit of an insight into the type of students we talk to, and maybe you fall into one of these categories as well. And if you don't, that's fine. We could add that onto our next slide. You can be another bullet point. So let us know what your circumstances are. We're here to help. Great, so I'm going to move on to the next slide, which is about where our current students are currently working. So the reason we've put these two slides into this presentation is because when you study with us, when you're kind of either on a purely online course or you're on one of our blended learning courses, you're going to be part of a community, so an online community. And what that means is you're going to have the chance to network through either online discussion boards or during kind of the conferences here on campus with a variety of different individuals who are kind of working in a variety of different sectors. So I just wanted to highlight a few of these sectors today. So you hopefully have all recognized some of these big companies. So for me, I obviously look after the MSc in financial management along with other courses, but there's some big names in here where a lot of our students are coming from. So we've got KPMG, Procter & Gamble and Deloitte. And we believe that building your network and kind of learning from others in your cohort is so important for you to grow as a personal level and a professional level. Like I said before, you'll be networking, you'll be learning from each other. People will be bringing in different perspectives, and if your company's not on this screen, that doesn't matter. You're coming from a totally different company and bringing in new perspectives and ideas and opinions to be a part of that kind of online discussion, online community, which I think's super important, especially if you're looking to further develop your career, change career, or just kind of get to know one another as well.
Yeah, that's great, Daisy. And just following on from there's a couple of our alumni from our MSc real estate course that we've recently run a webinar with, who are based with Cushman and Wakefield. So it's great to see that, you know, as soon as leaving our course, that our alumni are landing roles in recognised employers and doing the role that it is they were looking to do as well straight in. They had an idea, they had a plan, and it obviously goes to show the credit of the course as well with employers that we, local area, national, international, so that they recognise that our alumni are coming out with strong skills and knowledge is going to be of the levels they expect. And so that's great as well that we maintain a contact with these employers as well. I think that's really important, because I think in some cases, and I'm going to use Rolls-Royce as one example as well, and they do help with, or not just Rolls-Royce, but there's other employers as well, as help, I guess, create and design how our courses look, with course directors, with people that design the course, so that we maintain exactly what it is employers need from our students. It's making sure that we are providing our students that are studying, albeit online, or whether it is blended and learning, that they're still gaining the skills that are necessary to the industry, which I think is obviously, it's credit to our academics and course directors who design the courses as well, that we're staying on the top of the game.
Definitely, thanks Craig. And then this slide, again, you can see some big names here. So another course I look after is an online and blended MA in Educational Leadership in Practice. So for this course, I do speak to a lot of teachers who are either working in primary education, secondary education, or kind of FE colleges. But I also see some kind of big names come through. So we've got the Department for Education here and World Learning. Craig and I both also look after some courses which attract a lot of healthcare professionals. So I look after a course which is the Healthcare Ethics and Law course, and that can be taken in a variety of different kind of formats. Craig also, as you mentioned before, looks after a course called Medical Health and Education. And obviously a big name that we wanted to kind of highlight is the NHS. And on that note, before I hand you back over to Craig, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all of those. Some of you may be on today's call, but all of the frontline staff, not just in the NHS, but also outside of the NHS, who've kind of kept us safe and kept things going, the world spinning during what continues to be quite a challenging and uncertain time. But I hope kind of the last two slides have given you an insight into where our students are coming from, where they're currently working. Please do, obviously, I'm going to keep reiterating this throughout this webinar, but please do get in touch with us if you want to kind of talk about your circumstances, kind of where you're working. Does it relate to the course that you're applying to? We'd be happy to give you that advice and guidance.
Absolutely. Okay, so Daisy and I are asked quite a lot about people who are at that stage where they are ready to apply and submit their application forms. What does it look like if you are successful on the course? So as we've said, Daisy and I are course advisors, so we're helping you with that kind of step to applying. Once you're at that stage, and fingers crossed, when you get there, your application's successful and you're admitted onto the course, we then kind of almost hand you over to our colleagues who are our study advisors. Now, your study advisors are there to support you with your learning. They are the link between the academics, and they are the link between you and your virtual learning environments. So what does it look like? So you can see from some of the bullet points there that we've created. So in your virtual learning environment, that's where the material of the academics will upload videos for you to watch at a time that's convenient to you, and obviously from a number of different devices as well, so you can access it from your laptop, from your mobile phone. That's where you'll submit your assessments as well. So the reading material will be based there, your assessment material will be based there, and that's where you'll submit your coursework and your assignments as well. We mentioned it earlier, but it's a great place for you to speak to your peers as well. There are online chat rooms, so you can talk and obviously discuss, I guess, the questions that you've been set by your academic team, so you can share examples. You know, it's a great place to get to meet people as well. And so your study advisor will monitor your, and when I say monitor, we mean ensure that you are coping okay with your studies. You're not there alone. It's important for Daisy and I, and we want to stress that you're not going to feel isolated, hopefully by understanding that you've got the facilities of the of the chat room to talk to your peers, but also the chance to talk to your study advisor as well. You won't feel like you're in it on your own. You'll obviously have tutorials uploaded by your academic team as well for you all to watch in your own time, but you'll also have the chance to speak virtually face-to-face with your academics as well in kind of pre-booked one-to-one sessions as well. So you will get that feeling of being in a classroom, albeit over a computer screen, but it's important for Daisy and I to stress that you will have the same kind of features that on-campus students have as well. Let me just think of another point I wanted to mention here as well, Daisy. Yeah, it takes me back to that point about the study advisors, just making sure you're coping. So you'll see that last bullet point there where it's 15 to 20 hours per week, and it's recommended or that you'll need to commit to your studies. So your study advisor will make sure that they're able to log in and see that you're able to hit that. Obviously, that's the requirements, but how that looks and how that's shaped is up to you guys around your commitments. We did mention earlier on that, you know, our courses take into consideration that you've got additional responsibilities, your work commitments, family. So your 15 to 20 hours might not look in a 9 to 5, it might look in the evening time, it might be days that you commit. So that's great, you can shape that how you need it to look. But your study advisor, as we mentioned, alongside your academics, are there to make sure that you are achieving and obviously able to manage that. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add to that part, Daisy?
No, I think that covers it really. I think to the point about kind of hours per week of part-time study, the students I've spoken to for a variety of different courses that I look after, it's useful for them to know to kind of plan their life around studying. So I think if you want to kind of talk to us about time management at the very beginning, when you're in those initial stages of planning kind of your work, your family commitments around learning, then obviously do get in touch. Each of our courses vary in terms of duration. So we'd be happy to kind of get to know you as an individual, get to know the course that you want to apply to. But I think that's kind of covered it really, Craig. That's kind of what you can expect from online learning in a kind of one slide, which is great. And I hope it's useful.
Yeah.
So I am now going to talk about the practical considerations. So what you need to make online learning possible for you. These are really, really important because without these in place, you won't be able to kind of learn basically. So you need a device with a good internet connection. If you have this, then you can access our online learning courses. So once you've got that, your online learning is possible for you. All of our teaching materials are mobile friendly, so you can watch the video lectures, video tutorials on the move, on your smartphone, on your tablet. So again, that makes it accessible for you as an individual. In order for you to participate in online tutorials and other group activities, which are so important for kind of your learning and development, you'll need a headset and a webcam. So people want to see each other. It's all well and good kind of emailing, but seeing people's faces is so important. So make sure you've got kind of a webcam and a headset so you can hear those discussions, you can contribute to the discussions and be a part of kind of the kind of course itself, the entire course, which I think is important. So finally, if your course requires any specialist software, we'll provide you with copies of this and a license that lasts throughout your studies. So like I mentioned, some of our courses vary in terms of duration, but if you need that specialist software and if you haven't got that, we can absolutely make that possible so that learning for you can be possible. So now Craig and I are going to kind of talk about the support that you're going to have as an online learner should you choose to kind of take one of our online or blended learning courses. So as you can see from this slide, studying online does not mean that you're going to be studying alone. Just because you're studying remotely, you're going to receive that same level of teaching and support as our on-campus students, which I think is really important because we understand that kind of you may have been out of education for a little while, and committing to a course is a big commitment, and you want to be absolutely sure that you're making the right decision for you. So knowing that you're going to have support from the very beginning of your kind of initial inquiry right up until you graduate from us, I think is important. So a few points to mention. Obviously, you've got two very committed course advisors here, and we're both on today's call to offer that guidance at the start of your decision journey. when you are successful, if you do enroll on the course, we'll kind of pass the baton over to our study advisors, like Craig mentioned earlier. So they're on hand to kind of offer support, non-academic support to you during your studies. One thing I want to mention here, though, is that doesn't mean that mine and Craig's kind of role finishes. We want to know how you're getting on. We want to kind of meet you if you come to kind of the conferences twice a year, if you choose a blended learning course. We want to kind of make sure that you're getting on okay, and we want to kind of understand that the decision you've made to take one of the courses we offer has been the right decision. So you'll have a study advisor who is basically like Craig and I, but who are going to be there to support you. They're going to induct you at the very beginning of your course so that you understand how to navigate Blackboard. So you'll have that support, you'll have that guidance throughout the duration of your studies. You're going to be taught by world-class academics. So they are there to offer direction, to offer opinions via discussion boards on Blackboard. So when you're kind of talking as a cohort together about particular units or kind of projects that you're working on, our academics will chip in and offer kind of some opinions, some thoughts, in order to kind of give you some kind of further learning and kind of further things to think about. Again, you're going to have an academic tutor, so they will be assigned to you as an individual who their role is going to be to answer questions and provide some feedback on your progress and talk to you about how you're getting on in the course, and obviously answer any questions you've got more specifically about the course content. So the academics, the course directors of your courses, are on hand to support you as well. They'll be teaching, they'll be providing you with that learning material, but they'll be there via email, via Zoom chat, via Zoom video link to kind of help you in your learning and help you kind of progress as well.
Thanks, Daisy. It's kind of good timing as well. A question has just popped up from Rachel, who is watching. Hello, Rachel. And she's just asked us, how can online learning provide the social aspect of the university experience? So it kind of falls nicely to a part that I'm about to mention now. Recently, Daisy and I were part of a wellbeing webinar that we ran with our student wellbeing team and our student counselling team as well, and our study advisors were part of this as well. So it's important for Daisy and I to know that you, and hopefully Rachel, this answers part of your question as well, is that you will have access to the student wellbeing team as an example. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, like students, no matter how you're studying, can feel, you'll have access to this team and other teams as well. And you can get some techniques on how to cope with your learning, help you manage your learning, help you managing timetables and stuff like that. You'll also see as well, and we've mentioned before, that you'll have access to online communities. You'll have chat rooms to chat to students on course. And you'll also have access to our online library as well, and all of the database reading material that we have. So you'll have the same experience which I mentioned earlier. We're creating the same experience that our students on campus have as well. So we hope that you don't feel alone or isolated, and if you do, you can turn to us, as Daisy said earlier. Our roles don't stop once you're on the course. We get many inquiries coming back from people who've been accepted, just to ask questions such as, who are the student wellbeing team, from a more social aspect, and we can help with that and put you in contact with the right teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rachel, thanks for that question. That's a really nice question. I think also to that point, should you choose a blended learning course of one of our kind of in one of our areas, you're going to have that social aspect and social element when you come onto campus, and kind of you'll have that networking opportunity. But should you choose a purely online course, like Craig mentioned, you're going to be part of that online community. So you'll have discussion boards where you can chat to your peers. You can also set up WhatsApp groups as well. So if you kind of get to know your students or your current cohort, you can set up a WhatsApp chat and kind of speak about different units, or just kind of how you're coping, how you're feeling about the course. So yes, it's online, but there are opportunities for you to still have that social element. And I think we are humans, we love that social interaction, right? So I think having the opportunity to be a part of an online community, talk to each other in discussion boards, come onto campus as part of your blended learning degree, then that is so important as well. But Rachel, thanks, that's a really great question.
I think as well, Daisy, is that from the last cohort, I think for the real estate, there's still a WhatsApp group going. So
Yeah, I think
it's great
that
to,
is, yeah.
I'm not a part of it though, so I'm determined to be a part of the next one. I was on annual leave when the cohort came over, and some colleagues are part of that WhatsApp group. I'm determined to be part of the next one as well, so I can see how everybody's going once you've been and come and seen us, and then off you go as well. Yeah, we do enjoy that part.
Yeah, absolutely. But thanks, Rachel. That's a really good question, and I think probably a few of you on today's call will be thinking on the same page as Rachel. So yeah, I hope that kind of covered it. So I want to kind of talk to you a bit about why choose Manchester University for online and blended learning. Now, all of you on today's call have kind of taken the first step. You're obviously considering Manchester as an institution for you to further your study. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our rankings and things that I think you should bear in mind when you're looking at kind of institutions for kind of further study. So obviously you can see here we have over 60,000 alumni students who are based in Manchester and across the globe. So this goes back to my point about networking and the importance of networking. When you graduate from us, you're going to be a part of that network. You're going to be kind of still keeping in touch with our alumni, our students who are working in various different sectors, who are working in various different countries. So should you kind of want to have a complete career change and want to move countries, you may have you'll have that network to kind of reach out to and get advice about working in, let's say, Shanghai, working in Singapore or things like that. So we really pride ourselves on kind of the network we provide and obviously the fantastic alumni who graduate from us. And you may well be a part of that network should you choose one of our courses to kind of enroll on. Next, I want to talk to you about our rankings. So we really pride ourselves on our rankings, and I believe this is something that you as a prospective student should absolutely bear in mind when you're looking around, which is totally fine. You can look at other institutions. You want to make that right decision for you, but let's just bear this in mind. So we are ranked 6th best university in the UK, and we're ranked 27th in the world. So that kind of pulls together student experience, student kind of research, academic research and teaching. So I feel that we're kind of at the top of our game in terms of producing great graduates and obviously kind of great academic content for your learning. Back in 2018, we were ranked 5th best UK institution for employability. So this was by Times Higher Education. And what this means is studying with us and kind of having a stamp of the University of Manchester on your CV makes you that little bit more attractive to employers. So should you kind of be wanting to further progress in your career or change career completely or start a career in a completely different industry, your employer, you're going to be at the top of your game. You've graduated from for a highly ranked institution, and obviously employers look at that in terms of whether they're going to hire you as opposed to somebody else. So this is super important to bear in mind should you kind of be looking to kind of progress in your career. Finally, 83% of our research activity was rated world leading or internationally excellent, and you're going to be learning from world-class academics like I mentioned previously, and the content that you're going to be learning from is world leading and internationally excellent. So you're going to be in safe hands. What you're going to be learning with us is you can take that away with you, and you'll be developed as a great professional in your field. So I think these stats are super important. I've tried to jazz it up a bit by putting some funny infographics, but
nice,
this is
easy.
this is really important to bear in mind. But we know that this is a big commitment for you as an individual and individuals, and you want to be absolutely sure that you're making that right decision for you. So just kind of take this slide in, understand that we're ranked kind of one of the best universities definitely here in the UK. So yeah.
Great. Okay, so this is a list of, I think this is all of our courses, Daisy, isn't it, at the moment? Just there's something popped up, sorry, just in front of the list. It's a question that's come through. So from the list that you can see that we've put here, I'm responsible for the real estate. So from the health side of things, it's medical health and education, which is our PGC course. Let me just see where are we? engineering.
Oh, sorry, Craig. So this slide really kind of talks about the areas that our courses sit within. So we didn't want to kind of touch on and talk about all of the individual courses today, but this is kind of the areas that you can find our courses in. Obviously, you're all kind of got individual circumstances and kind of individual goals and aspirations. So please do get in touch with us about kind of what course you're interested in. Obviously, I know that we've had some questions come through, so we're going to take some of the questions, and I really appreciate the questions that you've had and asked today. We hope that you found today insightful. Like Craig and I have said, and what Craig's mentioned, is we look after a wide range of very varied different courses. So whatever suits your need, do get in touch. This is our email address. We're monitoring this daily, so please do feel free to drop us a line today. But let's go ahead and answer some questions.
Yeah, should we get in there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It looks like there's been a few come through quite early on, Daisy. Okay, so it can...
Right. Let's see, I'm just having a look. So somebody's asked a question, is this webinar for all postgraduate courses? So it's a really good question. This webinar is purely for our online and blended learning postgraduate courses. So obviously we've got the virtual learning open week this week. So I'm sure that there's some kind of other sessions that you could join that will cover varying different courses. But today's session is just talking to you about the online and blended learning opportunities. So Craig and I really wanted to talk to you about the meaning of online, the meaning of blended learning, what it kind of means for the university, and also the type of student that we see come through. So like I mentioned, we look after varying different courses that vary in length and kind of duration and topic and subject area, but I'm absolutely sure there's going to be further sessions this week which will cover kind of further postgraduate courses.
Sure, Daisy, I've just read a couple of questions that are fairly similar around accessing the campus facilities for those that are on blended learning courses. And I think the questions are, can I access such as the library when I do attend? So absolutely, you are a learner of ours. So when you do attend Manchester for the blended element of your course, the library is on campus. Of course, you can access that facility. You could use our gym facility. And we also have the student union as well. I'm trying to think of the other facility. There's IT suites as well that you'll be able to access. So yeah, absolutely, you are a student of ours, even if you are studying online or blended learning. So if you do attend Manchester for the conference or workshop, then absolutely you can access our facilities.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen a question come through about the kind of class sizes. So the class sizes vary, so they vary between the different courses that we offer, but you'll be in a kind of group that makes learning kind of easy for you. You'll be able to network and get to know each other on an individual basis. So they're not going to be huge, but they're going to be the right size for you to learn and get the most out of the course as well. So I've got a question from Anvita. So how do we know if the course we have chosen is completely online, blended, or face-to-face? So you should be able to navigate through our university website. What we will do after this webinar is send you the link to our online and blended learning page, where you can look at the courses that we have on offer. So you can find out if the course is the kind of right fit for you. I'm going to reiterate this point. Today's webinar has been about kind of the online and blended learning courses only. Now, there are postgraduate courses out there that the university offers that will be kind of full face-to-face, but unfortunately today, Craig and I only kind of look after the online and blended elements and online and blended courses. So Lee has asked, I currently work full-time. I'm planning on reducing my hours. How many hours would you recommend working alongside a blended learning master's? So that's a really great question, and thanks for asking that. As we mentioned previously, we would recommend between 15 to 20 hours per week of study. Now, we know, and we kind of want to mention again, that you're going to have different circumstances, and your individual needs and requirements are going to be different to other students. So that's the length of time that we recommend. You can choose to kind of work a little bit less or a little bit more. It really kind of is up to you about how you kind of manage your time whilst working and studying.
Yes, so somebody, I think it's in Vita, I hope you didn't pick this question up, Daisy, but let me know if you did, is around how do they know if it's online or blended learning courses? Well, when you go onto our web page, each course will give you a description about how it's taught, really, whether it is online or blended learning. It will tell you in that in the opening description of the course. So obviously, hopefully through Daisy and I's just chat today and what we've spoken about, is you'll now understand the difference between the two and what you can expect if it is a blended course.
Yeah, great. And I think the final question is, how are employers responding to online and blended learning? So I think whether you choose to do an online or a purely online course or a mixture of kind of online and blended learning, you're furthering your kind of knowledge in a particular area, which will give you the confidence to kind of go to employers, apply for a job that you may not have felt that you could have applied to before taking kind of a degree course. So I think employers are responding quite well. I mean, as long as you're kind of studying, furthering your studies, growing personally and professionally, then I think our courses open doors up to you as an individual. They give you that expertise and knowledge to really take with you when applying for different jobs, either in your current sector or in your current company. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question a little bit. And I've seen a few more come through.
I've had one about some say distance or web-based as well, Daisy. So yeah, so what we mean by distance learning is online learning, same as web-based. It's online learning is what we mean, and when it says that distance or web-based.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think somebody has kindly shared a link where you can find our online and blended learning courses. So please do have a look on that link. Like I said, we will share with you the link to all of the courses that we offer. And we'll also kind of be on hand to answer any further questions that you have about the courses that you've seen, today's webinar, and kind of your individual circumstances as well. So I guess without further ado, I think we'll wrap up. We've had some kind of more course-specific questions come through. So Craig and I, after this, will kind of put our heads together and come up with kind of some useful responses for you all as individuals. But I hope you found today's session insightful. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I think it should be a good one. Again, here is our contact details, so please feel free to get in touch with us should you have any further questions. But yeah, best of luck with your decision-making process. We're here to help, and we hope to see you in September.
Thanks, Daisy. Yeah, it's great that so many of you joined us today, and hopefully you'll have more questions and you're ready to apply, and we can make that difference in helping you submit your application. So thanks again.
Thank you, everyone.